Hey guys, Jamie Sierra here, missionfulfillment.com. In this video, I wanted to talk to you about the one main difference in people. What makes somebody who is constantly growing in every area of their life while others are stagnant? What makes one have a successful business while others are just barely getting by? And there is, and you know what? And there is just one word, there's just one element that's separating from the haves and the haves not. And that is hunger. It's not talent, it's hunger. Let me ask you something. What kept Walt Disney going after being turned down by 300 banks for a loan to build a theme park? How is a 6th round draft choice in the NFL turn out to be one of the greatest quarterbacks who ever played the game of American football in Tom Brady? It's because they are hungry, they're resilient, and willing to do the things that others are not willing to do. They make all the necessary sacrifices while others give up. And the thing is, great leaders, great teachers, great coaches can teach you anything you want to know. The science of achievement is available for you in any resources, especially today with the internet, with the online system, with your cell phone. Everything is available for you to want to know and have the tools and the abilities to master the science of achievement. But one thing that none of these tools can give you, a great coach, a great teacher, a great motivator, they cannot give you hunger. At least not sustainable hunger. I mean, you go to a seminar, you get inspired, you get invigorated, and you feel so pumped up, and you're ready to take on the world, you're ready to take on, pursue your goals, pursue your dream. But you just have to find a way to continue to sustain that, drive. And it's obviously, you know, I heard this one thing from Tony Robbins when I went to a one-day sales seminar many years ago. And he said at the end, he says, guess what? This is not the seminar. The seminar starts when you get back in the world and you apply the skills that you have learned. And that's the biggest difference is, trust me, I know what it's like not to have drive. I know what it's like not to be hungry. I know what it's like not to want to have it bad enough. And I failed in many instances, and I know some of those instances, the reason why I failed is that I wasn't hungry enough. I wasn't willing to do what was necessary to succeed. And some people, yes, they are born with the hunger. However, that is not the case in most circumstances. And we all know that. We all know that it's not, great leaders, of course, are made, but so is to have that insatiable hunger. And sometimes it happens through circumstances in life and everything like that. And sometimes you have that inner drive, but sustainable hunger is definitely something that we're not really born with. Most of us develop a hunger to be successful in any area of life by just saying, I've had enough, no more. This is it, I'm done. And there's always a failure that obviously puts us over the edge. And as a result, this failure turns out to be a great thing. Times of failure is when we ponder. And I can give you a great example of this too, and I've mentioned this before. There was a tennis player back in the 1990s. His name is Pete Sampras, and he ended up setting the record for most Grand Slam majors won at 14. He set the all-time record. He was number one for 6 consecutive years in a row. That record has still not broken. You know what pushed him to that? You know what invigorated him? Was a failure. He lost a match. He lost a match where he knew he was not hungry enough to win. He basically went into the US Open Finals in 1992, and he said to himself, he says, you know what, I've had a great 2 weeks. I've done well here. I'm satisfied with what I've done, regardless of what happened today. And he went out in that match, and he was kind of listless. And it wasn't that the effort wasn't there. He said he did try, but he did not have the meanness in him. He did not have the hunger or the drive or whatever was necessary to beat a super talented player like Stefan Edberg, which he was capable of beating, but knew he needed to have that little extra step. And he said after that match, he said something was really bothering me, and he was really upset with himself, and he really reevaluated his career, his tennis career, his life. And right after that, he went to the next year. He was #1 player of the world, and like I said, he was that for 6 consecutive reasons. All of that he credits. He would never ever gotten to that level if it wasn't for that match he lost in 1992. So sometimes you can see that failure can be such the greatest gift that we do have, because it really, and sometimes it might piss us off, but sometimes that pissing off can really invigorate us. So, and the other thing too, I mean, obviously, hunger, with that, obviously you're going to have a sense of great fulfillment, no guilt or whatsoever, that you are up and you're rising and you're hungry each and every moment of your life. And there's no question about that. And here's some ways, and like I said, there's no way I can give you hunger. You can watch all these videos in the world. You can watch, all the Tony Robbins in the world, and you really, none of them can really give you hunger. But I'm going to give you a couple quick tools to be able to develop this hunger, try to find a way to develop your hunger, try to find a way to develop your drive here. So I get you 5 tools that you can use and make sure you apply them. And then obviously this will help you sustain that drive. I mean, instead of waiting for something to fail miserably, adopt these skills here, and then you'll probably be but you'll be definitely on your way to building an insatiable hunger to succeed in every area of your life. So here's number 1. What is your why? You have to find out your why. If we do not have a why, we will not even come close to starting anything to improve the quality of our lives. We need to visualize what we really want, to see our future the way we want it. Or better yet, we must have to have it to be that way. Spending quality time, writing down your whys, and once that's completed, make sure you review that on a daily basis. Number 2, get around people who are hungry. There's a saying, a recovering alcoholic cannot hang out with their drinking buddies. Guess what? You cannot continue to hang out with people who are bringing you down, people who are toxic, people who are miserable and just blaming everything in their lives, blaming the economy, blaming the government for their failures. You gotta get the hell away from them. Get around people who are hungry. Jim Rohn has said you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So make sure, get some hungry friends. Number 3, create consequences for not meeting your weekly goals. And this one I'm really familiar with. I have a mastermind group, and we set goals for us every week. And if we do not achieve these goals, we have to donate $10 into a pool that we keep for ourselves, and eventually we're going to use that pool to spend that. Another way you guys can do this: donate a certain money to a charity, do something that you really don't like to do, or you could donate money to a cause that you actually don't support. That's another way to do it. And not that I want to get into politics, but if you're a Democrat, you can donate money to a Republican or whatsoever, a Republican cause or whatsoever, a Republican Party. That'll really create the consequences, and that'll make you sure that you follow through on your vision and your goals. So that's another way to do it, and that's vice versa. And you're a Republican, and you can always vote, you donate to a Democrat Party. So I just want to make sure I put that in. Cover all areas, of course. But number 4, change your state. Changing your state can mean changing your focus, changing your language, or changing your physiology. And Changing your physiology is the fastest way to change your state. Move your body more rapidly, like this. I mean, stand up straight, stand up proud. Really become, if you stand up like this, or if you crouch down like this, there's definitely a change in your biochemistry, and definitely a change in your willingness to be motivated, to be driven, to do whatever you need to do in order to get things done. Always be able to move your body more rapidly. Focus, change your focus, change the language, how you communicate with yourself. That is really important. That'll get you to follow through, and that'll make you, and that will make sure you get hungry a lot quicker. That'll save you time and effort. That is the quickest way to get anything done, is make sure you change your physiology. And then the last one, even the most important thing in order to get hungry, get an accountability buddy. Or most important thing, do not do the other four. If you do not do the other four, definitely do this one, okay? Get an accountability buddy. Hire a coach, or hire somebody that you can definitely work with. Maybe you can be their accountability and hold them accountable for what their goals and their visions are. And meet on a weekly basis regardless, and set goals for the week. Come back to each other, and obviously there'll be consequences, like I mentioned earlier, if you do not focus, if you do not complete your goals. Hold each other constantly accountable, motivate each other. That's what you do. And then I want to make sure I add this in too. And you can definitely hire a coach. I've had many coaches, and I think they're a very worthwhile investment. And I've been able to improve the quality of my life in every area. I've been able to start a business. I've been able to lose 30 pounds. I've been able to have the relationship of my dreams. And these things, like I said, you want to make sure you make the worthwhile investment. And like I said, if you don't, also get an accountability buddy. I recommend you do both, but if you don't, definitely do at least one of these. And then the other thing I just want to make sure I mention, as far as an accountability buddy, you definitely want to have the love and respect for one another. Of course, as a coach as well. However, you do not make sure your accountability buddy is somebody you're in a relationship with. Your accountability buddy cannot be somebody who's family. And of course, I would not recommend your accountability buddy to be a close friend of yours. I mean, you might be able to build up a friendship from holding each other accountable and working with each other. There's no question about that, but you don't want to go into a lifelong friendship and then create a certain type of relationship, like holding each other accountability, especially if your long life friendship was, pretty much, like I said, wasn't consistent of any of things like this, and it definitely has a different type of friendship. So I just wanted to throw that in and make sure, like I said, you definitely don't want to have that as well. But anyways, that's what I have as far as making sure you guys try to create that hunger. If you're already, if you feel like you're hungry and you're going out there kicking ass every day, I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear what your best practices are. One of the great things I love is we can always learn from each other. The greatest gift we have in the world is each other. There's no question about that. So guys, thank you for watching. I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.